This presentation covers the basic safety issues that are relevant to an introductory university chemistry laboratory. You should be thoroughly familiar with this material since safety is an important consideration in each experiment completed in this lab course. Personal protective equipment allows you to work safely in a teaching laboratory. You are responsible for the appropriate personal clothing, such as goggles, short-sleeved shirt, long pants, closed-toe and closed-heel shoes, and lab coat. The lab will provide protective gloves for your use during the lab period. Safety goggles and lab coat should be put on immediately upon arriving in lab. They should be stored in your locked lab drawer between experiments. Gloves are provided when needed and should be disposed in the trash when you have finished your experiment. Any type of shoe that does not have both a closed toe and closed heel is not allowed in lab. If you wear flip-flops, sandals, Crocs, or similar inappropriate footwear, you will have to return to your dorm room to change before starting lab. There are no food items that are allowed in lab. If you have long hair, tie it with a rubber band. Long pants, such as an old pair of jeans, are required. A fume hood is used for reactions when appropriate. Wash your hands thoroughly prior to leaving lab. The effects of chemicals are divided into two general categories of hazards: physical, which are fundamental characteristics of the chemical, and health, which describes effects of personal exposure to the chemical. Physical hazards deal with the chemical reactivity of the substance, including its corrosiveness with metals, flammability as a fuel source, reactivity with other substances, and oxidizability involving the release of oxygen. Health hazards include irritation through contact, sensitivity producing an allergic response, potential as a carcinogen, toxins for specific organs and systems or by exceeding dosage limits, and corrosive ability to burn by contact. You should be familiar with the chemicals that are used in lab. You can always check with your teaching assistant, lab instructor, or an MSDS concerning the physical and health hazards for a particular chemical used in an experiment. Routes of entry for chemicals into the body include inhalation, especially for volatile substances, skin absorption, usually through spillage, and ingestion, which can occur by not washing your hands when leaving lab. Each substance used in lab that has been purchased from a chemical manufacturer must have available a material safety data sheet. This 4 to 6 page MSDS contains detailed information about the substance, including personal protective equipment, reactivity, health effects, and physical properties. It is a good source for becoming familiar with the characteristics and properties of the substances used in lab. The following websites provide MSDS for most chemicals used in lab and can be reviewed as needed. A fume hood retains the vapors of volatile chemicals and prevents gaseous products from a reaction from migrating into the room air of the lab. Each student has access to a fume hood, and your TA, or teaching assistant, and the lab procedure will indicate when it is appropriate to use a hood. The label for a chemical bottle should be attached and legible. Report any illegible or missing labels as well as leaking or broken containers to your TA. You should label any beaker, flask, or small vial when it is used to temporarily store a chemical that you have prepared or dispensed from a common container. Any eye or skin exposure to chemicals is best treated with the immediate irrigation of the exposed area to cold water. Both eye washes and safety showers are available in lab if needed. Contaminated clothing should be removed, and your TA or lab instructor should be notified of the accident as soon as possible. Most chemical spills can be prevented by adequate preparation and familiarization with the procedure for a given experiment. If you are unsure about how to clean up a spill when it does occur in lab, ask your TA for help. The university's fire department does have unannounced fire drills. If you hear the building alarm, simply turn off any laboratory services you are using, leave the lab, exit the building using the closest stairwell, and move away from the building. Small local fires can be put out using a fire extinguisher. These are wall-mounted throughout the lab. Your TA and lab instructor have been trained to use fire extinguishers. Paper waste and your protective gloves can be discarded in trash cans that are in lab. Any broken glass, which can be cleaned up by your TA, must be discarded in the cardboard boxes labeled glass that are in lab. Proper disposal of broken glass protects the building custodial staff from inadvertently cutting themselves when they are cleaning lab. Safety features are located in lab. Your TA should help you locate the first aid kit, telephone, fire extinguisher, fire blanket, chemical spill kit, eye wash, safety shower, and automatic fire alarm.